name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I talk about motherhood, I talk about pregnancy, we do things pretty granola. I have a 19-month-old and I am 20 weeks pregnant. Sweatpants are life. In this video, I want to tell you a couple of things, 6 specifically, things that I would like to do differently with the second baby than I did with my first baby. Because the first baby, you are winging it. You have no idea what you're doing. You're just kind of like researching stuff, trying it, seeing how it goes, thinking that you're ruining your child. It's wonderful. I feel like, and I don't know yet, but with the second, I'm gonna be a little bit more calm. Things are gonna be a little more chill. I'm not gonna worry about things because the things that I worried about with the first turned out to be just fine. I'll do a video later about the things that I'm gonna do exactly the same. And I say all of this fully knowing that you can have like all these ideal plans and then your baby goes, no. Oh, okay, like I've got co-sleeping mom friends. They're like, my first child would only sleep with us. My second wanted nothing to do with it. I can't even comprehend that because Aaliyah was the co-sleeper. She did not want to be in a bassinet. She didn't even want to be in the snuggle me in our bed. She wanted to be on us. So I'm gonna have all these plans, but we'll see how it actually pans out is what I'm saying. So I've got, like I said, I've got 6 things that I'm going to do differently and I'm just gonna wham bam through them. I'm already out of breath. I got like that pregnancy drip, like, so I'll try and edit out those sniffles for you. You're welcome. I also just started a podcast, so if you're interested in listening to information instead of watching it, my guests are amazing. They're my gurus, or they're people that I'm like, I want to know what you have to say personally, so I want to interview you and share you with everyone else. And I'm on Instagram if you want to connect there. Okay, let's get started. Thing number 1, sleep. With our daughter, Aaliyah, we didn't really know that you were supposed to like move her to a crib. Like she would just sit in the middle of the room and sometimes she'd be sleeping and sometimes she'd be awake. We were like, wow, she can really sleep through anything. Let's be loud so that she gets used to loud stuff. That doesn't really matter. Like babies are either asleep or they're awake. When they get to 4 months is when they start to get the levels of sleep like adults have. And so that's when they kind of start to wake up. For 4 months, she was just in the middle of the living room, awake sometimes, asleep sometimes she didn't sleep. And then I was like, oh, there are sleepy cues. So you like watch your baby and when they start to have these sleepy cues, then you can bring them to their crib or their floor bed and lay them down and they can fall asleep in their room and get used to falling asleep in their room. So I'll start that a little bit earlier this time. And I'll also likely be wearing the baby like 24/7 if they like it, because I'll be running around chasing a toddler. So when your baby first gets home, you are told to track their food, their poops, their sleep, their whatever. So I just found this the other day. This is how I used to track Aaliyah's sleep. Like, oh, this is when she went down, this is when she woke up in the morning, this is how much she slept that night, this is her first nap second, her total sleeps, her total bedtime, her total wake ups in the middle of the night. And I tracked it like this. And so many people sent me this app called Huckleberry, which is actually who this video is sponsored by. I've been using this app since May, so probably like 6 or 7 months now, religiously, every single day. But at the time, I was like, no. That's not good. It's just too much. Let me show you how easy this app is. So for example, we go into the app. We see sleep. I click sleep. I click start timer. And then I click stop timer. And if I forget to do it, I'm like, oh yeah, she went to sleep at 9:30. And she slept for an hour. Then you press save. You can say if they slept in their own bed. It took a long time to fall asleep, if they were upset that they went to sleep nursing. Like, there's a bunch of options here. Then you press save. Then it shows you all of the sleep results. What I love is the summary. This is what I was trying to do with this paper. Look at that. It shows you she sleeps about 12 hours. And what I didn't realize when I was doing this, because it didn't show me like this, is if she took a super long nap during the day, like on this day, like a 2.5 hour nap, she would only sleep for 9 hours because her total sleep is about 12 hours. So that made us make sure that she didn't nap longer than an hour and a half during the day. So all of that is free. All of that tracking is free. You can upgrade to this sweet spot. Once you enter in like a few cycles of their sleep, it will optimize it for you, which my paper didn't do. So it'll tell you, hey, based on her sleeping schedule and how she's done things, your next nap should be in about 2 hours. Okay, done. Seth and I debated multiple times, like hiring a sleep coach, and he's like, I just don't think things are that bad. This is a lot cheaper than a sleep coach, and it tells you the ideal times to put your baby down. And you say, we're doing 2 naps a day, 1 to 2 naps a day, 3 naps a day, and it tells you, okay, this is the ideal time that you should give your baby a chance to go down. That would have been very helpful. Also, as far as sleep goes, we co-slept with Aaliyah, and we plan on co-sleeping with this baby. We might get like a side crib that just goes next to the bed and hope that this baby sleeps in it, because Aaliyah's probably gonna be in our bed, which I love, and Seth doesn't mind. But I don't wanna have to protect a baby from a toddler, so I'm hoping that the baby sleeps in the side sleeper. We'll also probably still do a floor bed, so the baby will just sleep on this floor bed. It's a Montessori thing. I have videos on it you can watch. That's all the sleep things that I am doing differently. The second thing is what I'll do differently in labor. And in my video that I'll do things exactly the same, I'll talk about the hypnobirthing, I'll talk about the workouts that I did, pregnancy and postpartum, but specifically in labor, what I'll do differently is not do the purple push. And that's like, push through the pain, where your face turns purple and you're pushing really hard and you're, ugh. Because what I've learned, and what I knew before, but I forgot in the heat of the moment of laboring, your uterus does 90% of the pushing. You're just like an assist. And I feel like any man that takes 45 minutes in the bathroom, 99% of the male population, can understand this one. You can't just push out a poo. You gotta let it be ready. Your body's gonna push it out, and you're just gonna slowly assist. The same is true with the baby. When you're dilated and you're ready to go, your uterus is still working. That's what contractions are. They're pushing the baby out. So you just have to give that extra little assist. That's the thing that I'm gonna change with labor and delivery. I have an interview with a nurse who had 3 unmedicated births, and we talk all about her recommendations for the natural birth. Thing number 3 is feeding. I have rosy retrospect on this for sure, because I just weaned Aaliyah. We only have 1 nursing a day. Today we didn't even do it at 5 a.m. I was like, we are for sure getting this next baby to take a bottle. Aaliyah never took a bottle. So it was me, always, the whole, like, nursing to sleep, nursing to eat, nursing whatever. Then I was hanging out with some friends whose babies take bottle, and I'm like, you have to carry around breast milk, and you have to pump that breast milk out, and then you have to give the baby a bottle, and then you have to wash that bottle, and you have to do. Where when I was somewhere, I would just either pop in another room, throw something over, stick around the boob. I would hop in my car, and I would go sit in my car and nurse her. It was so easy. But I want the option. I want the option for the baby to take a bottle. The other thing I was thinking is, Aaliyah's, I would imagine, going to want to help. And so I feel like if she can help with a bottle, that would be like a cool little bonding experience for them. We didn't have a lot of complications breastfeeding, and I think a lot of that was attributed to I was just gritty, and I was like, we're just gonna get through breastfeeding. This is painful. Talked to a lactation consultant. We figured all that out. I took probiotics through my pregnancy and postpartum, and I think that helped a lot with like helping her gut and not have reflux and not have upset tummy, and just kind of like seeded her biome from inside the womb. Could be crazy, maybe not. Going back to the Huckleberry app, this is also something that you can track. So you can track how much you're feeding them. You can do sides, like, oh, I'm feeding on the left or the right, but I never kept track of that. People do like ponytails, like, oh, I ended on this side, so I'm gonna start on this side. I was just did a little squeeze test, and I was like, this side is for sure the side we're starting on. And I will nurse on demand, because that's how your milk comes in like the first 4 weeks. And sometimes it's cluster feeding, where they're feeding literally every 30 minutes and you want to rip your eyeballs out, but that's how your milk comes in. But here's how I did use the nursing, because I didn't have this app when I was like nursing like that. It's very interesting to see how things change. Okay, so if you look at my data, you see blue is sleep, this orange is feeding. So today she didn't nurse in the morning, this day she didn't nurse in the morning. If we go all the way back to May, we can see I was nursing throughout the night a whole bunch. I was nursing throughout the day, and then we cut the day nursing, which you see here, and then we cut the sleep nursing, not for a while, here. And that was that. And now we just nurse at 5 a.m. You can basically use it to the full potential or like not as much as you want. I really just use it for sleep for a while, then I added the feedings. That's kind of what I've used it for. But you can do these growth charts so you can see what their weight's doing and making sure that it's going up and then feeling confident about your breastfeeding. They also have diapers, so if you want to track in the first bit, which I did, like how many pees they have a day, how many poops they have a day. It's funny because I forget about all these things until I start looking at this app and I'm like, oh yeah, I did used to track that with paper and pencil. The fourth thing that I'll change is less stuff and secondhand stuff. With your first, you make a baby registry, you've got all the things that you could ever want. You have no freaking clue what you could want. I would highly recommend talking to a mom of two, a mom who has 2 or more children, and be like, what things do I need? I had a friend who's like research and literally just copied her baby registry. I was like, cool, that's a cool spoon, that's a cool bib, that's a cool chair, I like it, that's a cool monitor, whatever. I was not concerned. But here's the thing, babies are super particular. So one baby and mom are like, the Mamaroo is a lifesaver is a lifesaver. You need the Mamaroo. Aaliyah hated the Mamaroo. Then we tried a swing. She loved the swing. Some babies like to bounce. You have to just try different things. So that's why I recommend doing secondhand. Get on Facebook Marketplace because everyone gets these things brand new and they use them for 3 months and then they don't use them anymore because their baby has grown out of it. So instead of spending $200 on these things, spend $50, $100. Try it out. If it doesn't work, resell it for what you bought it for. It just kind of blows my mind that every new baby gets like tons of new baby stuff. And I'm like, how can all these new babies get all this new baby stuff? It's just insane. So I definitely took a ton of secondhand clothing, anything that somebody wanted to give me. And then if I didn't like it, I would give it to Goodwill or I would give it to somebody else that I knew that needed it. There's just a lot of stuff that you think you need that you end up not needing. So the fifth thing is solids. I was terrified, like sweating in the doctor's office when she's like, you really need to start feeding her solids. I was like, I will do that because it's good for them, it's good for their motor skills, it's good to help them talk, like all the things that they tell you that it's good for. I'm like, we're starting at 6 months. Aaliyah was not ready. Maybe I wasn't ready. And Aaliyah is a great eater. So knowing that I don't have to start at 6 months, I could start at 8 or 9 months and it's fine, alleviates some of the stress to make sure that I start at 6 months. But that's what I mean, like it just took me some time. I had to give her a little bit of like puree. We did very easy things like raspberries that would just kind of like mush up in her mouth, or avocado. Very simple things to build my confidence to watch her eat the things and then feel okay about it. There's so much information, like doing 100 foods before one. I'm just gonna be a lot more relaxed about it. Huckleberry app also can let you track the kinds of food because I do think it's good to give them a variety. You don't need to be stuck on 100 foods, but having a variety of foods is kind of a nice thing. Okay, the last thing is, now that I'm a second-time mom, and I don't think that I would have done this the first time, but I will do this the second time, I'm gonna start things sooner. Coming home with a human that you're like, you're letting me leave the hospital with this baby's mine, and now I'm in charge of it. Okay, that's overwhelming. So I was like, I'm gonna do cloth diapering, I'm gonna do elimination communication, I'm gonna do this. No, cloth diapering I think started when, I don't even remember, I wanna say like 3 or 4 months. Elimination communication, like a potty training for infants. Tried at 4 months, wasn't gonna do it. Started again at 6 months, and I'm so glad that we did it. I'll start that sooner because I'm more confident this time about it. I hopefully won't be overwhelmed by all the newborn things. And this Huckleberry app, I know I keep talking about it, but it's a sponsored video. I will start that sooner because it's a way better way to track it and it's just so simple. Be ready for a video that's all the things that I'll do the same. Because there are a fair amount, which I'm pretty proud to say. We'll see how it goes. That's all you can do is just see. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already. Let's connect on Instagram. I'd love it if you checked out my podcast, and I will see you next time. Mwah.